Oh yeah, that's like the Turn the volume on. Discussion.
In the world, I passed a law that lowers prescription drug prices, caps them at $35 a month for seniors. For 4 years, Donald Trump tried to pass an infrastructure law, and he failed. I got it done. Now we're rebuilding America. I passed the biggest law in history to combat climate change because our future depends on it. Donald Trump took away the freedom of women to choose. I'm determined to make Roe v. Wade the law of the land again. Donald Trump believes the job of the president is to take care of Donald Trump. I believe the job of the president is to fight for you, the American people, and that's what I'm doing. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Big round of applause for the president. And thank you to Kip Malinowski for helping us find those two great videos, and thank you to Samantha for working out that technology. Let's see, Blue Victory Dinner. Is Tony Weaver with us? Tony, you want to say anything about Blue Victory Dinner?
Yeah. So I've said it once, I'll say it again. The Blue Victory Dinner is rapidly approaching. Folks who don't know, the Blue Victory Dinner is our biggest fundraiser of the year. It will be taking place April 20th at the Hilton in Boston. Would love to see everybody there. Anyone who hasn't gotten their ticket yet, there's still time. I encourage you to jump on the Arlington Democrats website, grab a ticket. It's going to be a fantastic event, and I hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. We have another event coming up, and we have a former chair of the party and former county board member, John Milliken, would like to give us a brief announcement.
Hello, Arlington Democrats. You know, Virginia is a very odd place. They insist on having elections every single year, year after year. But I know two things about Arlington Democrats. One is you're able to keep your eye on this year's bouncing ball. But two, you've got great vision and are always looking into the future, remembering that while each election is important, it's the cumulative impact of your effort that produces the results that Arlington has been blessed with now for several decades. So I'm here tonight to invite you to think a little bit about next year. It's very important to push on and get done the job that has to be done this year. Re-elect our president, re-elect our senator, re-elect our member of Congress, and put two good, strong people on the county board and the school board. But let's be mindful of the fact that a lot of the things we care deeply about are decided in Richmond. And what we don't want to have happen is a repeat of what happened 4 years ago. Because we've learned and are learning with each passing day how destructive a Republican governor can be by imposing his MAGA notions on Virginia. So I'm asking you to think about joining my wife, Chris, and me in support of Abigail Spanberg. we're giving a little event at our house a week from tomorrow. We promise sunshine, nice weather, and good company. Because Arlington got to know Abigail Stanberger through Beyond Arlington. Many of you have knocked on doors in her district as it evolved over the years. So come and say hello again. I'm sure she'd be glad to see you. You'll find little flyers like this on the back tables, and we invite you to join us next week.
Thank you so much, John. And those of you who don't know, John's mother, Herschel Milliken, is the person for whom our Precinct Captain of the Year award is named.
Great one, great one.
Longtime precinct captain of Ashland Heights. We did leave out 2 gold sponsors, so I just want to take note. Timmy Peterson and Nova Labor were also gold sponsors of that. All right, let's see. Yep, second Saturday breakfast coming up on April 13th. We're going to have a school board candidate forum. I think we've got most of our school board candidates with us today. School board candidates, you want to stand up or? Awesome, thank you so much. And let's rise in the back. All 4 of our candidates are here. You will get a chance to hear them speak at our second Saturday breakfast.
And online registration is now open.
Perfect. Next month, we've got an exciting agenda for the May meeting. We're going to have our first annual Deputy Day. All the deputies of the committee are going to run the meeting from beginning to end. So look forward to that. Chairs will not be allowed to talk. We will be seated somewhere in the audience. And really excited to initiate this as an annual event. Volunteer fair is coming back. Deputy Chair Ruiz, did you want to say anything about the volunteer fair?
Be here, 7 o'clock.
Eloquent. Thank you.
Keep shot.
All right, let's see. And we do have one appointment. Today we found a tech chair, Amanda Molina, who I think will be here later in the evening. Has agreed to be our new tech chair.
I move we confirm her.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. Welcome, Amanda. All right, Deputy Chair Paul Ruiz. We are at that point in our program for the 8th District endorsement vote.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Deputy Day. Sounds like an opportunity to not do any work, Steve. You can imagine my surprise when he came up with that idea. No, it's fun. We approved rules to fill the vacancy left by our dear friend, the departed Greg Hines on the 8th District Democratic Committee. We had 2 candidates file for that seat. They are Brian Atkins and Bob Platt. And so tonight we're going to hear from both those candidates. Voting is currently underway. We have a desk. So raise your hand. This is our check-in desk. And have our list of our committee voters, voting members of the committee, and also non-voting members, so precinct leaders, ex officio type members. You can get a ballot. We'll keep the voting open until about 5 minutes after the candidate speeches. So if you're currently sitting on a ballot, please make sure to get your ballot in. And where is he? Bryant and Bob. Where are you, Bob? Bob, come on up. We are going to determine order using a coin flip. So the candidates are going to get 4 minutes. They had the option of having an introducer if they wanted one. The introducer will get 1 minute. Do either one of you want to call?
I'll call it Kevin.
All right.
Sales.
You can go first, Bob, if you want. Okay. Okay. Oh. Yeah, so I just have an introducer, Brian Coleman.
Yeah, right. Evening, all the Democrat. Y'all hear me like this?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So. Got it, yeah. All right, so when Brian asked me to introduce him, I didn't have a second thought. Brian is an excellent, strong, and capable Democrat. The school board endorsement vote, he set that up from top to bottom. So if any of you are having the time of your life doing that, how easy it is, how seamless it is, that's him. That's all him. He won the Eric Mitchell Award for leadership. He was the vice chair for the Disability Caucus. He is the current president of Arlington Young Democrats and formerly the party rep for Arlington Young Democrats. I have no doubt that in these times we need strong, capable, new leadership, that Brian is a choice for us. So please join me in welcoming Brian Atkins. Thank you, Brian. Good evening, Arlington Young Democrat. It's been a day today. Yeah, good evening, Arlington Democrat. For those who don't know me, my name is Brian Atkins. I have been an Arlington Democrat for about 3
Go ahead, speak.
Yeah, for 3 years, and I grew up in a small town called Savannah County, right outside Charlottesville, Virginia. So having the Democratic Party was not a constant in my life, but growing up as a gay, autistic, in the public school system made me realize that the Democrats were the ones who were there for me when it came to increasing access for education and other opportunities. And that led me to wanting to be involved in every level of government and every level of politics to make sure that people with autism, people with disabilities, and rural communities are have a voice at the table and they're cared for by all levels of the party. In my involvement here in Democrats, I've of course been the ACD chair, the Blue Victory Dinner co-chair. Last year I was the event manager, and of course this year I had the privilege of with the school board vote. The accessibility, of course, was a big part of that, and also making it an easy experience. Thanks. So. Is it working? Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, I've worked hard. I'm ready to represent. I've been a big advocate for building our community, advocating for inclusion by including Braille on our JCC lit, our school board endorsement vote, any aspect of the party that we can improve on. I have been there to make sure we do the work. And also make sure that we're intentional in the work we're doing. I worked hard to make sure that our registration and our ballot will have translations of the 5 most common languages here in Arlington County, so we can make sure every single voter who wants to participate in our endorsement vote is there. This is a long-term investment, but it was one we needed, and it's one we need to see up in the ranks up into the Democratic Party of Virginia. I hope I have your vote. I'm honored to have the endorsement of Delegate Adele McClure, Charlie Conrad, Sarah Florence, Kit Malinowski, and dozens of others who I have had the honor of serving with. I hope I have your vote, and with that, I'll hand it over to Paul.
Done. Test. Test.
Working.
Let's get there.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Switch it.
Thank you. You will need a state central committee with rock solid ethics, leadership skills to get us through this era of fake news, dirty tricks, Glenn Youngkin, and Donald Trump. I have over 35 years of working for ACDC and am a lawyer and tech enthusiast. I hope that we will have business as usual with most of our time devoted to making the Kennedy King dinner a success. But if the Trump tactics get out of hand, you will need experience representing you on the state central committee. For success, we need better communications between ACDC and the 8th District Committee, as well as allocation of resources in a transparent way. If elected, first, I will work for a party structure that is fair and inclusive. I know the party rules. Second, we must share the lessons learned in Arlington with other jurisdictions in Virginia. To the extent that we have any excess capacity in Arlington, we must all put it to good use where needed elsewhere in the state. Third, I will work for the success of the Kennedy King dinner. Fourth, I will work to make the 8th District resolutions process fair, impactful, and inclusive. I have degrees from Cornell University and its law school, and have served for 4 years on its board of trustees. I've also served on the board of several other nonprofit groups. I've been active in ACDC since 1991 as a precinct captain. I'm the longest serving precinct captain. And for most of 3 decades, I've served on the steering committee. I've worked on almost every aspect of ACDC, including parliamentarian, legal counsel, sergeant at arms, newsletter layout, webmaster, school board caucus director, and operations HQ director. For decades, I've served on the joint campaign, organizing Metro stop voter registration, mail-in to absentee voters, and other tasks. I've served as Southeast Area Chair. I was the Roosevelt Society Chair for many years and ACDC Resolutions Committee Chair, so I know fundraising. I've been a delegate to 6 state conventions and served as ACDC legal counsel, where I've represented ACDC before the 8th District Committee when it heard an appeal of an ACDC action. I am currently Sergeant at Arms. I chair the Arlington Senior Democratic Lunch Group, voter information on the voter support team, and am treasurer of the School Bonds campaign. I've also served as 8th District Convention parliamentarian, and for many years on the 8th District Convention Resolutions Committee, where we frame policy platform. Among those endorsing me are former school board chair Barbara Cannon, former ACDC chair and 8th District member Kevin Appel, former area chair and past candidate for county board Peter Fallon, and John Milliken, as you heard, the former secretary of transportation for Virginia. Least you question my vigor. I am an avid runner. I finished 34 Marine Corps marathons. I'm going to run another half marathon this spring. I humbly ask you for your vote to bring the experienced voice to the State Central Committee and the 8th District Committee. Thank you.
All right, we get one more round of applause for these 2 great candidates. So, you guys 5 more minutes of grace just to go and get your ballots in if you have them. 5 minutes. We will huddle. And then we'll reconvene with the result in a little bit.
I've got it. What's that? I'm clicking on other stuff, so it's not gonna do it. I can press the control panel and coaches. So I click with anything else. And you're doing the Zoom. Are you ready? Not quite yet. Anyway. Have you called me to report
Thank you. Yes.
No, I can't. That's my job. I can write a good one. I'll get the one down for record. Ready? Everybody, thank you so much. You know, we're at the part of the meeting that everyone is excited to be here.
Looking for you wanna walk?
Stay with your seats if you can. Getting ready to start the exciting part of the meeting. We need to approve our 2024-2025 bylaws. Hopefully everyone has had an opportunity to review those. If not, there's a QR code at the front of the room. Hopefully the QR code works. So the way this is going to work, we will get a motion to approve the bylaws. We will get a second. And now we will open to discussion. If anyone has questions or amendments, anything they want to suggest, any questions about what we did in the bylaws. This was mostly kind of an organizational rewrite, just kind of cleaned up some of the language, how we listed our officers, and so forth throughout the document. So it's very much just a much more plain language edits than any sort of substantive edits. Any questions? Any questions from the crowd? All right. Hearing none,
We will do that for you once we're through this, yes, absolutely. Question was about the tickets for the Blue Victory Dinner. So everybody is gonna get there, so they don't already have them. We've got a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. We have 2024, 2025 bylaws. Hopefully they served the committee well. I was really proud that we did kind of clean up the language in them. So there you go. In another 2 years, we can do that again. Oh, there was kind of a summary of, we did have some edits from Mary Detweiler. We really appreciate Mary's work, kind of reading through the bylaws. She found a couple more inconsistencies, just verbiage here and there. I can send people around a list of these later if they are interested. And now I'm going to welcome up Sarah Langford with precinct operations.
Thank you. Hey, let's see what I put in these slides. Okay, before we get started, we have 2 new folks that we're bringing on as precinct captains and 1 as precinct leader. These are crucial spots in Central Precinct and Marshall Precinct, and then Park Lane Precinct is getting a precinct leader, which is really great. Our biggest precinct, so we can use all the help we can get there. Can I get a motion to approve? Is there a second?
Second.
See the second from Rose. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, big round of applause for these 3 folks. That brings our current freshman class of precinct captains to 20 folks, which is really incredible. I'm super excited about it. And all of these new folks, and I'll get to this in a minute, but have done a fantastic job already out of the gate of recruiting new volunteers who live in their precinct. We do have these 5 precincts on the screen where we could really use some folks. That's Arlington View, Clarendon, Dawson Terrace, Gunston, and Monroe. So if you know anyone who lives in those precincts or who wants to do some extraterritorial work, we'll take that too. I did want to give a recap of primary day. I know that I had talked about this last time, our last meeting. I had said that I thought the numbers weren't in yet, but I thought we had recruited about 250 volunteers. Really pleased to say that we went through the list and we actually recruited 543 volunteers. Really proud of everyone who was out there, especially the folks who were there in the morning. It was much like today's weather, disgusting and cold. So the fact that we were able to recruit more than 10 folks per precinct, if you do the math, is pretty incredible. And all of these folks, we're currently working on adding them to our van lists. And then we will be inviting them to the volunteer fair, wherever Paul is, on May 15th, where we're hoping we can slot them into any areas where they might have interest or have special skills. So we'll be reaching out to those folks. We've already reached out to them via their precinct captains, but then some targeted follow-up as well. And if you think that's fun, we have a lot planned in April. You might think, you know, it's the calm time before the June primary and before the sprint to November, but we're never resting in precinct ops. We hosted a retreat makeup yesterday evening. It was great. Just to kind of review best practices for folks who weren't able to make it to our retreat that was in February. Next Tuesday, we have a precinct ops town hall with County Board Member Takis Karatonis. We're really excited to hear from him. And then on April 16th, Sarah Florence is graciously going to be providing our precinct captains with. We'll talk. Okay. Sometime we will be providing a training to precinct captains on the best ways for precinct captains to communicate with their volunteers in plain language about all of the great things that the Biden administration and our delegation in Richmond has been able to accomplish. We've gotten requests from precinct captains about that. How can we convey all these great things in a way that's easy for my neighbors to understand? So we're really excited about that, whenever that will be. Stay tuned. All of these trainings are going to be on Zoom, and then we're going to record them and put them on our Notion page and send them out via email. So if you're not able to join us live, don't worry. We will push them out to you after they happen. Okay. Like John said at the beginning of this meeting, we never do anything the easiest, most simple way here in Virginia. So we have one primary, and it was so much fun. We're doing it again. June 18th, we have a primary for county board, HCD, and Senate. So that'll be June 18th. And we'll be asking voters again if they leave the polls, if they'd like to volunteer with us in November or to help us win in November. Poll reading might not be the best phrase for this. It's more like poll thanking people for voting and then begging them to sign up with us. But I do think we're going to have a lot of success here, just because we have competitive races. So I actually think turnout will be higher for this primary. So I think it'll be kind of fertile ground for recruiting volunteers. And you can be like these really happy folks, and it's always fun when you can help your neighbors vote and then bring them into the party. So consider signing up for a shift. We will be out there from 7 to 10 a.m. and then 4 to 7 p.m. So through the peak times, it'll be hot. You can bring a lawn chair and a glass of lemonade and catch people as they're leaving. No fun like primary fun. Let's see here. Okay, we have a book club event coming up. We just had a book club event last week. We read Cast by Isabel Wilkerson. We had a great discussion, and we decided that we wanted to learn more about the American labor movement. So this month, we are reading Fight Like Hell, The Untold History of American Labor, all about the people of color, women, and queer people who shaped the labor movement, but often whose stories aren't told. So super excited. I started the audiobook of this. It's really great. The fun fact here is that the author is actually a writer for Teen Vogue. So she's slipping all of these really great articles about labor into articles for teen girls. So there's a fun article, How to Keep Up Your Skincare Routine When You're Working on Contract Negotiations. The book is not that. The book is more serious, but check her out. She's really cool. We're going to be at Screw Top Wine Bar on Thursday, April 25th at 6:30. So join us for that, for what will be a really great discussion and some wine, some cheese. We're going to have fun. And with that, I will hand it back over to Steve. Oh, do we have a question?
Yes, I was wondering if you have an update on the website.
The Notion page? Yeah, so we currently have a Notion page. We're really lucky that we were able to get this done with our tech team. It's up and running, so if you don't have access, we can talk. But I update that regularly, and it is a really great repository for all of our resources. So we have things like how to host a voter registration event, how to host a postcard writing party, ways to access your volunteer list. We have all of our archived trainings there. So if you're a precinct captain and you don't have access, let me know. It's probably just because you haven't activated it, but everyone should have access. Yeah, any other questions? Okay, sign up for a poll reading show for Judy. Can you take that around?
Thank you, Sarah. Great. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Voter support.
Well, on my slide here, did you go back one? Just oh, I guess I could have gone back. Okay, there we are. Okay, well, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you. So for the voter support, we're entering a really, I think, rather exciting time, because we're gonna have sort of two tracks moving at the same time. We've got the voter registration events, and we've got the primary day poll reading. Primary early voting poll reading, I should say. Don't want to step on your toes, Sarah. But anyway, so the voter registration, for instance, has been very popular. Kind of surprised how many people are coming up to me saying, I want to actually host events. So now, no, I'm not too far.
Okay, here we are. We created a QR code, where you can scan and sign up to be on our list for voter registration events. Basically, how we're gonna do it is voter support is gonna put on 4 voter registration events in the spring, starting the weekend of May 3rd, and we're gonna run that all the way to 25th. We do that at 4 different locations, 2 in North Arlington, 2 in South Arlington, and we're gonna mix it up a little bit. In addition to that, we have precinct captains, other people who are interested, anybody involved who wants to host a voter registration event, fill that puppy out, and you'll be in contact with me, and then we can get one set up in your neck of the woods. We've already got one cooking over at 4 Mile Run, we've got one in Boston, kind of on the rise here. So we're really getting these things moving across the county. So I think it's pretty exciting. Additionally, we're going to be running the early voting poll reading for the primary. Like Sarah said, I think there's going to be a lot of interest. Number of races involved here. So we're trying to get that going. It's not going to be a huge effort because we want to save the big guns for the actual general election fall, but we are going to have shifts, so keep an eye out on Mobilize for those as I put them up. But that's all I've got. That is unfortunate. Yes, come up to me. I'm in this bright orange shirt, so. But that's all for voter support. And I think if my clicking showed right, Kip, I think you're probably next.
Yeah.
The chair.
There we go, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good evening, Arlington Democrats. How's everyone doing? All right. So I'm Kip Malinowski, and 8 years ago, again, I was chair of this wonderful committee. And back then, we had a presidential election, and the whole thing came down to 77,000 votes, which is what we won Arlington by. Unfortunately, in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, the story was different, and that is why we did not prevail. So this year, as 4 years ago, Beyond Arlington was focused on the states that can make that marginal difference in winning the election. Now, don't misunderstand me for a second here. Everything we do in Virginia matters. We've got to do the work with Sarah and other people to get out the vote here. But we really got to make sure we execute beyond Arlington too. So we've got a few slides here to talk about that. And first, we've got some phone banking going on. And we are calling for one of the swing districts in North Carolina. And this is for Dante Pittman. We're working with the North Carolina Democrats to get to their goal. They had a goal of making 2,000 calls. Already we've hit 3,500 calls for that swing district. So the question is, why focus on North Carolina? And this was from March 9th. The Biden administration, they did the Biden campaign to get an update where they said these are the states that we're most focused on. And it's really these 7 states, the Blue Wall, North Carolina and Georgia, Nevada and Arizona. And that is really it. That is where this presidential margin is going to be won or lost, is a few thousand votes in those few states. And so right now we are completely focused on North Carolina. As the campaign develops, if it looks like it might be closer in Pennsylvania, if it might be closer in Wisconsin, we'll switch our calls there. But for right now, we are focused on North Carolina because it is an expansion state. We're working closely with the state party chair, Anderson Clayton, who's the youngest state party chair in the country and doing amazing work. And also, they've got some elections on the ballot. Which we'll get to in just a moment, but I want to show this key point. Trump cannot win the White House if he loses North Carolina. He won North Carolina by 1.3% in 2020. So putting that in votes per precinct, that's 28 votes per precinct is what we've lost in North Carolina. So we can flip that margin, and it's not just that margin in North Carolina. Winning North Carolina is a knockout blow. By the way, this is Anderson Clayton right here. Also, that's my mom up there too, when she went out knocking doors just a couple weeks ago. But this is what's also at stake in North Carolina. The presidency, the governor, the lieutenant governor, the attorney general, the Supreme Court, the state Supreme Court, which are elected for 8-year terms. They have a swing congressional district, which is one of the ones we're calling into, so we can take back the House. They have the North Carolina Senate, they have the North Carolina House, and they have the North Carolina Superintendent of Education. So that's 9 key races that we can make a difference with by focusing on North Carolina. So for right now, that is why that is our top priority and why we're going to be focused there on making such a big difference, because a few votes in this state could be all the difference. And as bad as the Trump campaign is, and as badly as I fear the fascist movement that is supporting him, I am excited about what Biden is doing on climate. This is the a map from White House from the WhiteHouse.gov. We've invested over $676 billion in clean energy for North Carolina, and you can do this for any state, but for North Carolina, it's $32 billion. You can go and see all these different ways that we've developed. So we are making a difference. This presidency is making an enormous difference in lives all across the country, and it's really a story that definitely needs to be told. So we are now calling for these 2 candidates, and we're doing this tomorrow. They actually were on Zoom earlier today. This is Senator Lisa Grasstein and candidate for the State House, Sophia Jackson, and they have overlapping districts in North Carolina, adjacent to one of the swing U.S. House seats. So calling for these 2 candidates tomorrow, and actually all through mid-April. They have a goal of just reaching 1,200 calls. They're leaving messages, trying to get the word out. They're really supporting public education. This is a really, really, really crucial one to focus on. So this is definitely something that we can get involved with. All of these opportunities for North Carolina are here. We've got postcards to Georgia. You'll hear more about this a little bit later with our Blue Families group. We've got Wisconsin Democrats calls. We've got the California Democrats have a texting program going on, and our Democratic National Committee has a call group. So we have all these opportunities. This Google Doc is all linked right here, so you can get involved with any of this by just scanning that QR code. And then my information is right here. So you can contact me, and then after this meeting is over, after we get through the program, I'll be sitting right up here. So just come talk to me if you have any questions about this. We'd love to have your help sending postcards, making calls, knocking doors, sending texts. We just got to make this happen. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our chair, and thank you all for your time.
All right, I'm pretty sure it's outreach, so we're going to bring up Zach Leonard and the outreach team. There we go. Thank you, Zach.
Good evening. I find it amusing. Kip, he had a slide that showed that $32 billion of the Inflation Reduction Act money has gone to North Carolina. One thing that's very funny is a lot of that money is going to projects in Republican stronghold districts. So I like to quote my Republican friends every chance I can. Outreach. Clicker. Okay. Couple big things for outreach this month. School board candidate forum. I'm failing miserably.
Got it.
Well, the candidate forum is on Tuesday, April 16th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at Arlingtonville Community Center. This will be a great opportunity to get to know the candidates. I hope to see all of you there. If you have any questions, feel free to come talk to me. We will be again at the Randolph Food Pantry doing food distribution. Great way to get out there with friends, help some folks in need. That's on Friday, April 12th. If you're interested, again, come talk to me or email me at outreach. Third and final, it is Earth Month this month. We will be doing a park cleanup at Jenny Dean Park this Saturday, 2 to 3:30 p.m. I have about 2 slots left. So if you're interested in getting outside, it looks like it's going to be a nice day, please come contact me. And now, Keith Willis, my friend Keith Willis has an important update on the labor.
You see you all. One thing I want to talk about real quick before I move to the Career Center is if you've got no plans next Wednesday at 8 a.m., join us at Courthouse Plaza Starbucks to congratulate the workers there on the national agreement with the Starbucks Corporation. Great union leaders there. I want to talk a little bit about the situation at the Career Center, and I appreciate just a few minutes of your time here. The school board has passed a project to rebuild the Career Center. It's I think, about 170 million something dollar project. The thing is, they decided to not include any wage or labor standards for the project. Now, what does that mean? In the construction industry in our county, wage theft is rampant. I mean, rampant. All these buildings that are going up, people are getting the wages stolen in those projects. That could mean literally never getting paid. It could be misclassifying you. It could be underpaying you. There was a situation in Amazon where they were making workers take a check to a house in Woodbridge, and then they would gladly cash the check with taking out a service fee. But you couldn't take it to a bank because it would bounce if you took it to a bank. So what we're asking the school board is to add labor and wage standards, prevailing wage to the Career Center project. What would that mean? When there was one of the electrician union contractors went to the meeting to learn about the Career Center project, and they took a look around the room and they said, we can't even bid on this, because there was people that are known wage stealers that were attending that meeting, getting ready to bid on the Career Center project. So here's what I'm asking of you all, because I know you're great on these issues. I have some flyers over there, and while you're over there, you can sign up for one of the outreach groups. Many wonderful people over there. There's a QR code where you can sign up a petition. I also have the school board members' emails. I would love if you would email them and just let them know that you support having wage standards and labor standards at the Career Center project. And then finally, I have my email at the bottom. You can always join our labor caucus. Our next meeting is tomorrow at 6 p.m. Virtually. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Keith. Okay, big announcement here. It's spring. That means it's festivals and farmers market season. We'll be here every Saturday at the Courthouse Farmers Market from 8 a.m. to noon. If you're interested, let Vidya and Rob know at festivalsandfarmersmarkets.com, as well as Colleen, who is so wonderfully running it again this year. Fatima.
Okay, everyone. Well, good evening. I'm like really impressed to see you guys all here today on such a really rainy night. Ladies don't say such things. Anyway, so I think you all know why I'm here tonight. It's getting to be that time of year again when Arlington Dems puts on its, get this, 7th annual Arlington Dems Interfaith Eid Celebration. Yep, we've been doing this for 6 years in a row. This is going to be the 7th year. And it just seems to get bigger and better every year. It's become, as many of you know, it's become a tradition that everyone looks forward to. This year, Eid changes, the time, Eid changes every year, Eid al-Adha. And this year, it's going to be like late June, early July. We haven't set a date yet. But that's where you guys come in. I'm going to be asking everyone to give their take on when we think it'll be the best time to organize this around the rest of the Arlington Dems calendar. And those of you that have been to these events previously know that we've had some really amazing guests. Congressman Don Beyer came, and the Turkish coffee lady. So 2 different things, but both equally amazing. Every year we have it catered by an amazing, how many times have I said amazing? Amazing Syrian refugee group. And one of the other things we try to do, because Eid is a time of giving, we try to give back. Give back to the community in the form of donations to AFAC, help refugees, communities around Arlington. Last year we had sort of a fair where some of them were selling stuff, and So we sort of combine that with our effort to also help promote and support women entrepreneurs as well. So we hope to make this year's event even bigger and better than in previous years. I don't know if you guys have been following the news, but I think everyone realizes how important it is for us to make this event a really resounding success, just as it has been in previous years, but even better if that's possible. So that's where you guys come in. These events don't organize themselves. And I've always had amazing participation, amazing teams, and in previous years. And this year, I know I'm going to have an even better, awesome team putting this event together. So I guess that's it, you know, it's all up there. So the site, how do you get involved? Okay, this is the practical end of things. So we'd love to have you join us. Please go ahead and you see where Brittany is? Brittany is holding up the sign-up sheet. So, you know, it seems like it's a long way away, but it really isn't. It's only about 2.5 months, and there's a lot of moving parts, and it all comes together, and everybody just has a terrific time. So, all right, that's it. I'm going to give the microphone back to Jay.
Thank you, God be much. Okay, last very few announcements. Thank you. There we go. Disabilities Caucus, great meeting last month. Kudos to Daniel for setting that up. Don Meyer, okay, that was fantastic. This month, they have their monthly virtual meeting on April 21st at 2 p.m. This one will be school or candidate focused. And they're looking to expand their leadership team. So if you're interested in getting involved, please let Daniel know. The Latino Caucus also wants to advertise the same school board debate that I mentioned at the beginning, April 16th, 7 p.m. Co-hosted AYD, ArlDems, will be a great time. There will not be an April social, but there will be a May social. If you haven't been to one, I highly recommend it. They are wonderful. Thank you, Tanya. Women's Caucus, several events going on this month. And Out of the Darkness Walk on the 6th. Their monthly Women's Caucus meeting at Lebanese Tavera. Great food if you haven't had it. A Take Back the Night event on the 25th from 8 to 9 p.m. And an Ordinary Hero, a conversation with Joe Mulholland. And that's she's a legend in this community. That'll be a great event as well.
It's changing on mine.
No, okay.
It's changing over here. That's.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Barbara, and I'm a member of the Arlington County Commission on the Status of Women, which is a nonpartisan group, but we are hosting a Take Back the Night that everyone's invited to. It's at the Shirlington Plaza area in front of the library on that same night. So maybe before you do the virtual one, swing by the commission, the county.
That is great to know. If you wouldn't mind sending me that, I have a distribution list that I send events to. I'd love to include that.
It's frozen now.
Okay. Did I have anything else to say?
The military, the veterans, the military.
Oh,
that.
Oh, I can, I forgot to submit my slide in time, but, as Skip noted, Blue Families, we're doing Georgia postcards. We're also doing letters to North Carolina. If you go to the, I don't know, this website back up, okay, well, there's a form that's either on the website or we can send it to you, yeah, sign up for postcards. We are well on our way to our 150,000 goal. And thank you for precinct ops, who is coordinating a bunch of postcard parties through the precinct captains, starting on April 18th.
Yes.
Okay, so there will be a series of those. Come to any or all.
I think that's just all about, I had, veterans and military families caucus. Don't forget to bring food donations that we then bring to APAC. Thank you. Sorry for taking so long.
Thank you, Sal. Thank you for all the great work. Brian Atkins, AYD.
Hello again.
Yeah.
Alrighty. To make sure we got time to socialize, and to meet some of our amazing candidates, I'll just go ahead and, so for March, we had our March happy hour, at March 20th, in City Hall. We had a Women's History, trivia happy hour. Thank you to Phoebe Carlson, our Vice President, for putting that together. I learned a lot that day. And then our Women Empowerment Forum, we held that yesterday, and we had Jan Michael from Doorways, providing us a presentation on the great work that Doorways does. If you haven't heard about that organization, it is for victims of domestic violence, of all genders and sexualities. So we are encouraging folks to donate to their Amazon wish list, which have all their critical items, and the address for them is preloaded. All you have to do is click a couple buttons, and everything is taken care of. And then going into our April event. April 23rd will be our happy hour. Waiting to hear back from one of the venues that we're looking at. As soon as we have the information, will be published to all of our socials. If you haven't followed our socials, ArlDems on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And then our April general body meeting will be, instead of a general body meeting, we will of course be for the ArlDems and AYD school board endorsement vote form. So please come and attend. That's going to be April 16th at 7 p.m. And I think that's being live streamed, isn't it? Yeah. So it'll be live streamed. Well, it's nice to see the lighting today. And then next weekend, about 17 young Dems from Arlington will be going down to Roanoke for the annual Virginia Young Dems Convention. And because of our generous donor from years past, we were able to pay for everyone who needed assistance. So all 17 delegates had their costs taken care of. That being said, we hope to do this next year. So if you are able to donate, there should be flyers on your seats with a QR code. That'll take you directly to ActBlue. Any amount helps us ensure that we can bring delegates again next year, and then also pays for our website and GP, all of those wonderful expensive tools that takes to run an organization. Yeah. And then want to thank our current donors, Denise Peterson and JD Thane, and then our other donors as well. So other than that, I think that's everything for me. I'll pass it over to Steve.
Thank you so much, Brian. All right, we've got some election results to announce.
Get a drum roll, please. I'd like to congratulate our newest member of the 8th Congressional District Committee, Brian Atkins. You want to say?
Yeah, thank you everyone who supported me. You need to reach me, biatkins96@gmail.com. I'm here for you to make sure that this party reflects what you want it to be. And I'll do my best with the rest of the delegation.
Now, the vote that we took tonight is technically a recommendation. And Margot, we will vote on that recommendation and vote Brian on the committee. Thank you.
Thank you all for running a spotless process, and congratulations, Brian. I know he does that work every day on behalf of the committee. We do have our DNC member, Dave Blackman, would like to give you just a minute or two update on DNC and our convention process.
Sorry, Alfonso, Patrick, I'm preempting you, I guess. I'm cold, so I'm not thinking about it. I had wore my like Virginia Dad speaker. I'll tell you what. So I just wanted to say, like, I think there's a notion right now that the Biden campaign's not doing enough. They're not out there enough, and I think it's absolutely insane. I wanted to share some numbers with you guys because just since March 8th, so this is just the numbers since March 8th, Biden's held an event in every single battleground state. More than 100 new campaign offices open, 2 million text messages, 500,000 calls, 20,000 volunteers doing outreach, 120,000 supporters doing organizing calls. Is launched Students for Biden, Latinos for Biden, and Women for Biden. And last week, the DNC held its record ever hard side fundraising event. I don't know if you guys saw it, but yeah. President Biden, President Obama, and President Clinton raised $26 million in one event. That's nuts. I just want to I wanted to show those numbers because I think there's this notion out there that the campaign is not doing enough. It is only April. Most people don't pay attention to even the presidential campaign until September. So, I'm proud of this campaign. I think it's a great campaign. I think we should all be excited about it. So, I wanted to show those numbers. That's the DNC. For Virginia Dems, I just wanted to stress here, there's two things coming up. Next month, the 8th district convention, and in June, the state convention. I'm just gonna make a plug. I'm not gonna walk through all the mechanics of it. You should go, you should sign up, Steve sent links out, how to register. It's easy, you click a button, fill out a form, you're done, you show up. And I think is it the 8th district at ArlDems High School?
Yeah.
I know, Alexander City High School on May 18th, right? Okay, there you go. And the state convention's in Richmond on June 22nd. Now, why it's so important? People come to these meetings, and for decades, I've heard people say, I want to have say in the party. I want to be part of the party, right? The party literally derives its authority from the state convention. So you show up at that state convention as a delegate, and you are authorizing the party to exist for the next 4 years. That's where the platform's set. That's where your DNC members are elected. That's where you elect people to go to the convention for you and represent you and represent Joe Biden. So I just wanted to make that plug. People are always coming and saying, I don't feel like I have enough say in the party. Show up at the conventions. That's where it happens. All right, that's my message too. So that's Virginia Dems. Quick point of privilege while I have the mic. I think a lot of you might have seen. I've been at this for 30 years. I was teenage young Dem of the year in 95 or something. I'm tired. I live with my family. I think you guys know I run global elections at Microsoft. It's hard. So I decided I'm not running for re-election to the DNC. Yeah, I've been in central Missouri for 12, 11 years, and it's time. I need to step out of the way and let younger people step up and take leadership in this party. I think that's really important. So, if anybody wants to run for DNC and is interested in the process, interested in what it entails and stuff, please come talk to me. Look at other people in this room, but yeah. So please come talk to me. It's a little bittersweet for me, but I will say, if you don't mind what I'm saying, I am going to run for your presidential elector at the 8th district. So if you are a delegate to that convention, I would love your support. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for all that you've done for the Democratic Party of Virginia and Arlington Democrats. And we are really excited to get you back on the Arlington Democrats tech team later this year. Welcome back, Dave. All right, I'm going to stick to my commitment and make sure we end this meeting early. We're going to have sort of a social half hour, so I want people to stick around. I do want to welcome our 3 elected officials here today. Senator Barbara Favola is in the back of the room. Delegate Patrick Owen. And Delegate Alfonso Lopez. I think they're going to be right there in the back of the room. If you would like a legislative update on what just happened in Richmond, they are there to answer your questions. We have our precinct operations folks over in this corner. We have membership over on this side of the room. We've got outreach over in this corner. So thank you again, everybody, for being here tonight. We've got until 8:45 before they start rolling up the sidewalks. So please mingle and discuss, and thanks again for being here tonight.
I didn't get a place to stand.